At the start of Football Manager 2024, you will find Marcos Leonardo contracted to Santos. He's 20 years old and has a contract that runs until 2026. He's valued at 8.6 to 26 million pounds and can play as a striker or a left winger. When we look at some of his attributes, he has stamina, natural fitness, acceleration, agility and pace, all scoring highly in the physicals. In the mentals, he has a well-rounded bunch of attributes which include composure of 15, off the ball of 15, work rate of 14 and anticipation of 14. In the technicals, he has finishing of 15, first touch of 13, dribbling of 11, passing of 11 and technique of 14. So he is a wonder kid waiting to explode. Is he going to get a move away from Santos or will he spend his career in Brazil? Let's jump forward 5 years to see what happens with Marcos Leonardo. So we've now jumped forwards, it's 2028 and that means that Marcos Leonardo is 25 years old and we now find him at Marseille. He's valued at 6.2 to 18.5 million pounds, has a contract to 2030 and he's paid £77,000 a week. Looking at his attributes, he actually hasn't developed as well as I thought he would. He has pretty much the same sets of physicals and mentals. His finishing is still 15. His technique is 14. In terms of his player traits, he moves into the channels, likes to try to beat the offside trap and cuts inside from the left wing. If we look at his career stats to see how he got to Marseille, he left Santos in the 24-25 season to go to Fiorentina for £14 million. Did only play 7 times whilst he was there, but that was enough for Marseille to come along and pay £15.5 million, where he did start to get more exposure to the first team, playing in 22 games and scoring twice in his first season. Then in the 26-27 season, he would play 16 times, scoring 3 goals. In the 27-28 season, he would also play 16 and score 3 goals. So, not much progression, but he has started to get first team football. Will there be any more progression as we jump forward another 5 years and see what happens with Marcos Leonardo? So we've now jumped forward, it is 2033 and we find a 30-year-old Marcos Leonardo at Crystal Palace. He has switched nationalities, he's now French, but still hasn't managed to break into France's national setup. He's valued at 7.6 to 23 million pounds, has a contract that runs till 2035 and he's paid £81,000 per week. Looking at his attributes, he still looks the player he was 5 years ago, hasn't really developed as I thought he would, and that goes for the physicals, the mentals and the technicals. If we look into his career history to see how he got to Crystal Palace, so after seasons at Marseille where he was playing first team football but not a lot of it, he decided to swap Marseille for Crystal Palace, who were in the Premier League. They paid 14.5 million for him. He played 31 games and 4 goals in the first season. In the second season, they were relegated from the Premier League, so they played in the Championship. He played 32 times and scored 7 goals. So, bit of a hit and miss career for Marcos Leonardo, not really developing. Will he still be playing in 5 years' time? That's the big question. Let's jump forward another 5 years and see what happens. It is now 2038 and we can see that Marcos Leonardo decided to retire from football at the age of 35. He's now a director of football that is currently unemployed. If we have a look back across his career then just to see how he finished up. So once he had gone to Crystal Palace for 14.5 million, he had played in their first team for a number of seasons until the 35-36 season where he only played 3 times and then he decided to retire. We look at his milestones across his career then, not a lot in terms of the competitions. Brazil under 23s right at the bottom, but then he was relegated with Crystal Palace, promoted via the playoffs, under 21 Premier Division International Cup winner with Crystal Palace, relegated from the Premier League and promoted back from the Championship. In terms of Crystal Palace, he did have a number of awards with them, but going back a bit further, Santos Supporters Player of the Year, named in Marseille's overall best 11 a few times. He was in the Ligue 1 Uber Eats Team of the Week, and then for Crystal Palace, Championship Teams of the Week, and in the Crystal Palace Seasonal Best 11. So, a bit of a weird career to finish him off. He has finished with stats of 386 games with 98 goals and only 8 assists across his entire career. Definitely not what I thought Marcos Leonardo would turn into, and it's really weird to see that he's retired from football at just 35 years old. Right then, if you're still with me at this point of the video, firstly, a big thank you. Secondly, if you don't mind hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel, it really does help. And I cannot thank you all enough for the people that have done it across the past couple of months and supported the channel. Before you go, don't forget there are other videos on the channel, such as hints, tips, tutorials, Wonder Kid videos. There is a little bit of something for everybody. But for this one, I'm going to leave it there. A big thank you for watching. Hopefully I'll see you on another video very soon.